So thank you very much for having time to join to the second session of this HR audit executive training. So we had some assignment that we did, that was shared, and I'm going to give each of the group 15 minutes to present, and then I'm going now to move to the next level of now going to session 2, where we are going to look at now a different matter. We are going to look at now the second part of the session. So on the chat box, Barak is in charge of the first group. Kindly, Barak, confirm all of your members are in. So I need for group 1 also. So I don't know who is presenting for group 1. And also to confirm that all the members are in. Barak, confirm all your members are in. So group 1. Who is presenting on behalf of group 1?
I think I have some work here. This Charles Wafula.
Oh, Wafula.
For group 1.
Group 1. But I cannot see Wafula today. He has not joined.
I'm around. Are you seeing me?
Wafula. Oh, you're the one who has joined us early.
Sorry?
You're the one who has joined us early.
Oh. I don't know why it brought that tally. Yeah, it's me.
Yeah, I was wondering, there's some people I don't see. And also there is there is Caro. Caro is around. Let me see, is joining. So I think we're going to give people 2 minutes. And then now you're the one who is presenting, yeah?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Let me just make you a co-host. Yes. Okay. So we are going to start with the group 1. So kindly confirm all your members are in. I cannot see Carol. I don't know where she is. But we are going to continue. So in my 9:15, our brother Buana Barak can start presenting. Your co-host, so you can display your screen so that now you can take your 15 minutes. So by 9:30, you're supposed to be done.
Display the screen?
Yeah, your screen. You can share your screen.
I'll need some help there.
Okay. Maybe you can put it on presentation mode so that everyone can see it.
That is group 2, right?
So that is group 2.
Should be group 2.
So group 2, yes. I'm saying Barak. Where's Barak?
Good evening, everybody. I'm here with you.
Okay, now you can share a screen.
Okay. There we go. So everyone seen this?
Yes, we can see it.
Thank you very much. Now,
so you can put it on a presentation mode. Down here. Down where we have the good. But you have shared the full screen. You could have shared the okay. There is somewhere where you click on your right hand side. On the same PowerPoint presentation, go to PowerPoint
Yes.
presentation, click the
Right.
PowerPoint presentation.
Uh-huh.
Then do you see where you change the zooming from where you find the icon for zooming? The next one that shows like a TV, a small stand of TV. So you can click that one and it's going to come to a presentation mode. Down there. Down right.
Right.
Where you're seeing the on your, so we have notes, comments. Next
Yeah.
one, after that there is the four squares. Then
Yes, yes.
there is a spreadsheet. Then there is something that look like a TV. Click that one.
The slicer.
Yes,
Okay.
good.
Better.
That's fine.
Right. I believe we can start.
And then there is the black thing on your screen, so you can remove it
All right.
on your
Thank
left
you
hand
very
side.
much.
Yes, perfect. So you can start
Yes.
now.
So now let me start with the introduction. I'm Barak Kiambi, here to represent Group 2 in our assignment, and goes as follows. So our agenda here, number 1 was observation, number 2, interpretation, number 3, risk, number 4, general insight, and number 5, recommendation. So in the observation, we noticed that number 1, the HR duties are rather administrative without any strategic planning. B, HR policies are either not in place or inconsistently applied. C, lack of monitoring of HR practices such as payroll, processing, training. They lack HR practices such as payroll, processing, and training needs assessment. We also saw gaps in documentation and employee records updates. There was also lack of workforce planning, and there was no staff engagement whatsoever. And they had limited strategies or initiative for they had limited strategies and initiative for staff retention. And lastly, they lacked reconciliation of the payroll records. Moving on, our interpretation was as follows. The organization lacks effective HR practice, stroke governance that thus exposes the company to risk. The HR department and systems require comprehensive review stroke audit to evaluate compliance effectiveness or compliance and effectiveness of HR policies and procedures. And there's need to align the HR operations to the strategic goal of the company. Moving on. Risks. The risks here, the first one was legal and non-compliance risk arising from the gaps in updating employment contracts, failure to comply with statutory requirements. The second risk was operational risk, which arises from poor performance, shortage of staff and skill, and the skill gaps. Number three, we saw financial risks, which arise from reactive recruitment, ineffective training programs, and payroll errors. Then we also saw reputation risks, which arise from turnover. Thus, stakeholders might lose trust with the company. Governance risk, which arises from weak HR systems, and strategic risks, which then inability to support the organizational goals and objectives. And then our general insights, we had lack of internal control and departmental audit to identify gaps for continuous improvement. Secondly, the weak HR governance that has resulted in the gaps in recruitment, disciplinary procedures, payroll management, training and development, and performance management. And lastly, there is need for a comprehensive HR audit, that is compliance, functional, and strategic audits. Moving on, our recommendations are as follows. The company needs to conduct a review of the employee contracts as well as other employee records and introduce a track metrics for easier follow-up. Number 2, they need to develop a workplace planning and establish standardized recruitment and selection criteria for timely and merit-based hiring. Number 3, they need to conduct staff satisfaction survey, employee exit interviews to identify the root cause of turnover. Then next, develop employee retention strategies such as recognition programs, salary packages, and etc. They also need to conduct a training need assessment to identify gaps, develop a training calendar, and post training assessments to evaluate training effectiveness. Lastly, the HR department needs to give recommendations that will align the department to the overall strategic and organizational goals. That was our presentation. I was the presenter, Barak. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Barak. Maybe some addition from your team members? Any addition or reaction from maybe even the other team members, even from the other group?
Hi, morning.
Morning, Purity.
How are you?
You have a reaction?
No, just to tell Barak, thank you for representing the group. I think I joined quite late, was to help him share the screen. And that's generally what we discussed and were able to put together. Maybe the rest of the team members can give insight. Yeah.
So we can have reaction from members. So no reaction. So we can go to group one. Sorry, Bwana Wafura.
Yes, sir.
So yeah, you can share now your screen.
I'm trying to learn how to share. Bear with me. Mr. Robert, on my PowerPoint, I'm trying to see how to share.
Go back to where we have
Yeah.
where we have the Zoom. Go to Zoom.
Yeah.
And then there is something that is showing share. There is participant, chat, react, and then share.
Sorry.
Down there.
Yeah, I've seen it.
Go to share. Click share. So when you click share, it's going to bring you the Chrome tab, window, and entire screen. So click to window, then share. Now,
are you seeing it?
Yes. So you can click now. I think after note, there is a slice, the slideshow. So you go down, there is the notes, next, until you get where there's a small something. Look, that one. Click that one.
You've seen it?
Perfect.
Right. So are we good to go?
Yes, we are good to go.
All right. Thank you. This is work from group one, and we're required to present our findings using the HR audit steps, the 5 ones of observation, interpretation, identifying risks, insight, and recommendation. We looked at generally having challenges in this organization, and our first thing to do was to generate observations. And we did not get these observations from elsewhere, but from the story. There were 9 observations that we made from the story. 1, the unassigned or outdated employment contracts. I think you must have observed that. Reactive recruitment practices, high rate of turnover of skilled staff, no formal performance management system. There were payroll inconsistencies, ineffective training, employee training programs, poor employment records management, inconsistent disciplinary processes, limited involvement of HR in strategic decision making. Those were key findings and our observations. Now, when we got into interpretations of this, there was an issue of legal exposure and labor law non-compliance. And this comes from the inconsistent disciplinary measures or systems. You could see that the talent gaps and poor candidate fit arising from issues of inconsistent recruitment practices. There was loss of institutional knowledge and high cost coming from high turnover of staff, a lot of subjectivity, inconsistency, and low accountability. There was an issue of financial risk, mistrust, and compliance breach. And this arises from issues of payroll inconsistencies that were observed, skill stagnation and reduced productivity. And this was coming from ineffective employee training programs, which were observed as well, and then poor performance management systems. Audit failure risk and data security concerns, simply because the employee records were poor. There were no lack of involvement of HR staff in strategic HR planning, decision making. We also made an interpretation of employee grievance and litigation exposure coming from inconsistent disciplinary processes. Then there was HR reduced to administrative function only. Why? Because they cannot take part in decision making, in strategic decision making. They're not invited there, they are not needed there. So they are just at administration level. So these were interpretations that we made. And when we came to risks, we grouped them into 4: the critical risks, the high risks, operational risks, and strategic risks. In terms of critical risks, labor law violations from unsigned contracts, I think you saw that. Then payroll non-compliance and financial penalties, where especially there was a problem with the payroll, which was always inaccurate. And then wrongful dismissal litigation risk, because disciplinary procedures are not followed at all. Employee records are poorly managed as well. When you get into high risks, okay, look at talent drain depleting organization capability. The turnover rates are so high. There is no deliberate retention policy. So the level of attrition is too high, and this is going to bring in a risk of talent drain. Then the inconsistent discipline brings about a lot of grievance claims, and people are having a lot of grievance, and there's no productivity at all within the organization. Poor records, this will result into failed audits or investigations. Yeah, that is in terms of high risk. And then when we looked at the operational risks, we are looking at reactive hiring, slows workforce planning, because there is no planned recruitment at all. It's simply reactive. It's not proactive at all. So no performance management systems means performance gaps go unaddressed, right? So like this, when there is no system to follow as far as performance management is concerned, so it means that motivation, productivity, and everything goes unaddressed at all. And then the weak training undermines service delivery, because if staff are not trained at all, I don't think productivity will be very high, to be low. Then the strategic risks here, if HR is excluded from strategy, then you have a misaligned workforce that is working, but is working just without necessarily looking at what the organization wants to fulfill. So there is misguided workforce. Then HR, no metrics in human resource management. That means that there's no accountability and there's no evidence at all to show that. Then organization is also unable to respond to change effectively, because HR is not invited on the decision-making table as far as strategies are concerned. So such an organization cannot respond to changes because there's no strategic planning at all. So these were risks that were divided into 4. And when we come to the key insight, what it means all this is that the organization is operating with a significant unmanaged HR risk across legal. There's a legal risks, there are financial risks, there are operational risks, and strategic dimensions, all going hand in hand, or rather simultaneously. So all these are happening, and that means that the organization is not working well at all. There is a big problem. When we came to recommendations, we looked at it in 3 phases. Phase 1, which is 1 to 3 months, and then phase 2, 3 to 6 months, and then phase 3, 6 to 1 year. In the most immediate, we are recommending an audit and update of all employment contracts for all staff. We also are recommending that payroll errors be resolved and controls are imposed so that we don't have payroll issues. We need to create a disciplinary policy and procedure guide so that people are guided, the organization is guided on how to foster there is consistency rather than the inconsistency that we had in the story. Then we also need to digitalize and secure employment records. You could see that this should be done immediately because they are very critical. Then in the other second immediate, which is 3 to 6 months, we need to design and implement performance management systems. This will guide productivity within the organization. This will guide the organization on how its staff should be rather evaluated, how performance is also evaluated at the end, not just individual, but organizational performance as well. Then we also need to build structured recruitment frameworks. Rather than just having to recruit reactively, we need to recruit proactively so that the recruitment is planned, knowing who is to do what, so that people are put in the right places at the right time with right skills. And then we need to launch a targeted retention program, which is deliberate, right? There are many retention strategies that the organization can do. So this must be studied and launched so that it is deliberate and reduce on the turnover rates that are very high, especially for skilled staff. Then we need to revamp training needs assessment, because you could see that training that is there, it is ineffective. So it needs to be planned, it needs to be revamped, so that before training is done, training needs assessment must be done, a training plan must be drawn, so that the organization is seem to have something that is organized and structured, so that you know who is to do what and what I mean, if there's any training gap, should be addressed. In phase 3, which is strategic, in this case, yes, we know that strategic planning is over 3 years or so, but now in our case, we're looking at strategic recommendations being between 6 months and 1 year. We need to embed HR in organizational strategy committee. Remember, we had the problem of where HR is not invited in decision-making, strategic decision-making. So in every aspect of the organization, HR should participate in coming up with these plans, should also participate in strategic planning. We need to establish HR metrics and analytics board. This will help in making a full analysis and assessment of where issues are, where problems are, and how they should be solved. Then we need to build a talent pipeline and succession plans. This is all about structuring the retention policy, making sure that reduce on the attrition rates of skilled staff, and so that our skilled staff are purely retained, and there's a deliberate plan for this. Then we also need to conduct annual HR audit cycles, that instead of inviting professionals from outside, we need to conduct our own HR audit, so at the end of it all, gaps are observed, gaps are analyzed, and recommendations are made to address any issue that could arise. Yeah, so that is the end of the presentation for Group 1. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, Bwana Wafula. Well done. Job well done.
Thank you.
The last part where you have been able now to draw the roadmap, what is supposed to be done. Thank you very much. So we are learning from each other. And as I told you that no one has a monopoly of knowledge. So today, Mr. Wafula has known how to do the presentation and also to present online. So we are learning from each other each day.
Yeah, indeed. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And also now, based on your knowledge and also based on your experience, you are able now to elaborate the points well. So there is a learning point for us. So it's really, really encouraging, and I'm happy for this work. So let us continue doing the same. So now we are going to shift gears, and now I'm going now to come in and you can stop sharing now then in the screen. You just go to the Zoom and then click where we have the share. Thank you. Good. So now I'm going to share my screen so that now we can try to go back where we were. And thank you for both groups for doing good work. And also I appreciate your effort to learn and also to learn from each other, and also now working as a team. So that is part of the HR audit, whereby you cannot work alone. In most of the in the setup, you'll need helping hands, even if they are junior, they are seniors, the same level type of people. So in HR audit, we work as a team, and that's the reason why I'm giving out group work, so that now we can start learning this. This is something that I've learned on the way, and I was not taught by anyone. It is through failing and failing, but now I'm able to share my experience in regards to this. So it's very important that the teamwork, because when you're doing some other complex sort of audits, you may get assignments that are very complex, because I know in future you're not just going to stay in the same position. You may decide now to venture into your own business and also one of the services. As I was in another class, they were saying they want to, one of them was saying that they want to venture into HR audit as full-time job. So it therefore means that when you get big assignments, you'll have to work with a team. You may be given an assignment that will last maybe for 6 months, and it is doing proper audit or diagnostic audit of an organization that has 1,000 staffs. So you cannot work alone. So you need to get helping hands. And therefore, it is important to learn this from here, that teamwork is very important. And note this, teamwork is very important. And also how you manage your work, it is very important. So we are going to have even the plans thereafter, where we are going to be able now to see the practicality of the HR audit. So I'm sharing my screen. So I'm going to go back to where we left. So we left on the part where we were talking about the type of HR audit. So we talked about the compliance audit, function audit, and strategic audit. So in this session, in the other session, we just went and it was just a summary. But today I want us now to go deep into the compliance audit, function audit, and strategic audit. Then we do the business links in between HR audit and business. HR audit and business link. How do you link HR audit and business? So we'll going to start with compliance audit. So basically in Kenya, and also in most of the England colonized countries, British colonized countries like Uganda, my brother Fura, I know you can attest to me that you have similar acts as one for Kenya. So can you confirm?
Yeah, indeed.
Yes, we have similar. We borrow from each other. So it therefore means only now maybe the time when it was enacted, that would be the difference. Like I know, Mr. Afura, can you confirm, do you have an Employment Act?
We do.
Yes. We
Yes,
have the
I can wave it.
Sorry?
Wave it and see.
Yeah, I know it's there. So I want to just you to confirm.
Yeah,
The National Industrial Training Act is there. There is the now Uganda Revenue Authority is there. You know, it's all the same. Only now maybe the clauses, and that is the difference. But they are going to, when it comes to rigor and regulatory framework of HR audit, it's going to be based on the acts that we have in place. So like in Kenya, you will find Employment Act of 2007. We have the Labor Institution Act. You have the Occupational Safety, the National Industrial Training Act. We have the NSSF Act. We have the current the current SHA Act. So there are other also acts that also are used in basically checking matters to do with compliance. Like the Public Finance Act, you'll find the WIBA, you'll find data protection like for 2019, which is really making organization, if they're not going to adhere to what is expected of them, it's very tough. So you get organization fined. Then there is the Fair Administration Action Act, where by now the rule of natural justice is brought in matters to do with the disciplinary acts. Then there is also anti-corruption and economic crimes, anti-money laundering acts. So where organizations are supposed not to involve in such acts. Then also there is the Persons Living with Disability Act, which basically help organization in making sure that there is employment of people living with disability. There is a portion. So, and also now in all these, there is the Constitution of Kenya. So when handling compliance audit, you basically base it on the statutes that we have in place in different sectors. And also different sectors will matter. Like in hospitality industry, you'll find there is different acts. In pharmaceutical companies or pharmaceutical industry, you find there is a different type of act. In security, so you'll find in different sectors we have different type of act, but most of them that we have are general. Then we go to now to the specific in terms of the areas. So our main focus in terms of audit in these areas, or in this area of HR audit under the compliance audit, is you just basically check if we are compliant to the provisions of the law. So that is basically what happens at the um, HR audit, that is a compliance audit. So when you're doing a compliance audit, you need to base it, or you need to use you use the MILA. The MILA is the statutes that you have in place. So it is very important. So when now handling these HR audit, it will help the organization in mitigating rigor risk. Mostly here it matters to do rigor risk, and also ensuring that there is proper compliance. And also now there is promotion of fair labor practices. So basically, you should understand that when you're handling compliance audit, you are what you always use as your litmus paper is the statutes, the laws that are provided in the organization, that are provided in the country, and also in the sector that you're working in. Because now, like if you're working in security, there are other provisions that are not there, that like the matters to do with like food handlers, or now the hygiene part, you'll find it's not there. But when now you go to the hospitality industry, it is there. So there are different type of sectors with different type of statute, but most of them, the labor acts are all the same. But also now other provisions come in depending with the sector. So that is very important to note. And also now, something very important is that when you're doing this, you need also always to look at other provisions of the law, like now the case law that are the development. Like last week, I was reading one of the case law, whereby matters to do with the performance management is whereby if as a HR manager, you're going to raise a case against a staff who maybe work in a finance department, and you are saying that they're not working as per the provision of the company policy, and also as the provision of the organization, the core values, the mission and vision, and then you take a disciplinary action against this staff, you will end up going to the court, and the organization is going to lose the case. because the person right now who is supposed to raise the issue against a staff is the line manager. So if there is no documentation to show that the line manager raised a query or raised an issue, raised a complaint against the staff, you therefore means that you acted in ultra vires. You went beyond your powers. So those are the things also now you need to put in place for you to be able now uh, to do a legal or a compliance sort of audit. So the statutes are coming in on daily basis. On courts are the labor courts are working day and night, and also there are changes and also interpretation that are differing from what is in the Employment Act and what now these cases makes now the current market changes. So it therefore means it is important also, even if there is a provision of the act, also what is going on in the court is very important. So I don't know if someone has seen this case of employment, of performance management. Do you have anyone who saw it? That is a week ago.
Yeah, you showed us last week.
Oh, I told you.
You
Okay.
you didn't actually give in your comments.
Oh, I didn't give him any comments.
Yeah, you didn't.
Oh, okay. So, but now that is the case. So it is very important to note that. So it is very important to note that the statutes are there, but also the case law are very important in each and every sector, and also in each and every jurisdiction of working. So now let us move to the let us move to the next part. So you can see my screen. Bara, can you confirm? You can see my screen.
Yes, we can.
Where are we? Function audit?
Yes, I can. Now we are at the just change.
So let us move now to function audit. Do you have anyone who wanted to react on, to say anything in regards to what we have gone through in matters to do with the legal framework before we continue? It is important to maybe ask a question. Okay, I can see we are saying we are good. I wanted like two people can react on the same, maybe if it's possible. Purity, maybe you can say something in regards to the same. Purity, are you with us?
Yes, I am.
Yes, say something about compliance audit. What I have said, or what now maybe your reaction in regards to the same.
I think you've said it all, because when you're doing the legal and compliance audit, all you have to do is the reference.
Sorry?
Send it all, eh?
Okay.
Maybe to echo that it's important to reference to the existing laws when doing the compliance audit.
Yes. Thank you. And there is someone I've not seen today. There is a lady called Carol. Where is she?
In our group, private, the group that we did for the assignment, she indicated that she will not be able to attend the class.
Sorry?
She had indicated she will not be able to attend the class in the other group for the assignment.
Today class?
Yes.
Hope she is okay. Okay. So let us continue to function audit. So function audit, as we said previously, it is basically evaluate the effectiveness, efficiency, and compliance of the HR functions to ensure there is value addition. So we said in the previous session, is that the HR department need to create value, need to show their value. So when now we do we evaluate the effectiveness and efficiency, then give our recommendation. It will help us create value and also improve continuously. So what is the purpose of this functional audit? So as we said, is that its function is to assess how effectively HR functions are designed and executed in supporting business objectives and employee needs. So we have two things that we need to do here, and we need to understand when handling the functional audit. First of all, you need to understand what the organization wants. And number two, what are the employee needs? So employee need in terms of skills, in terms of welfare. So these are now the cases whereby you need to balance. We always say that the HR department or the HR person is supposed to be always a middle person. You are not supporting the business. You're not supporting, or you're not sidelining on side of the business, nor on the other side, you are not sidelining on the side of the employee. So it is very important to have this. So what are the key functions that need to be covered at this point? So we have the recruitment and selections, whereby you find now there is the initial process of you getting staff from different sources, so they can be walk-in. It will depend also with the position. So it is important to do proper recruitment and selection. So, and how are you going to make sure that the recruitment and selection is well aligned? It is by checking or by understanding the mission, vision, and core values, and this is our guiding our guideline, or our help in terms of you understanding the need of the organization, and that is how you're going to get the right talents. And then when you get the right talent, how do you train these people? Because now there are changes. You may find that a person was working in a hospitality industry, but they are coming to a pharmaceutical industry because of the skills they have. But now, in terms of now the market that we have in, they need also to be shifted, a paradigm shift of their mind. But now, and also as you look at their skills, what can be added on and how can you leverage on the skills that they have? So making sure, and also now if there are changes, there are some improvements. Technology is coming in, things are changing on daily basis. How do you train and develop this stuff? How have they been trained and developed? Are there systems that are being put in place to make sure that the staff are skilled enough? Also, you need also to check, as you're doing your functional audit, performance management. As Mr. Wafula said, is that it is important to measure what people are doing. So are parameters that are being put in place, are they correct? There can be a performance management system. But on the other side, is it effective? Is it supporting the business? Is it to support what the organization is supposed to have? So it's or the organization is supposed to accomplish. And also on the other side, after now doing the performance management, you need also to look at the compensation and benefit. Maybe you may find that the reason why you've been called to do an audit, staff are moving from one organization to another. So they are coming from Roberts organization. They are going to Wafura and Sons Enterprise. Why are they moving to that? It is because maybe due to compensation. So you need to do a comparison to understand the market also. So how do we have a compensation, scale? But most of the organization, you'll find that when we were talking about the evolution of HR, is that in personnel management, the boss was the person who could now determine the compensation and benefit. But this one, at this moment, we have something we are calling the market trends. So you need to compare Why are they moving from Roberts Enterprise to Wafula and Son Enterprise? It's new to understand and also now to audit. Then also how the employee are handled. Do you handle the staff properly? Are the staff handled in regards to, are they regarded as human? What about type of culture do we have in the organization? So you need to use different tools in doing that we are going to look thereafter. So you check how are the staff being handled? How are their issues being handled? Is there any welfare? Is there any sort of, when they raise an issue, are the issues handled? And another one, the most important thing is the HR records. And I can tell you this should be the starting point of every sort of organization. The first thing that you need to do, even if after checking, after maybe doing the compliance audit, it's the HR records. And HR records, they are both in functional and on the other side in compliance audit. So the HR records always should be the first thing that when an employee comes into an organization, they need to have records. They need to give out their information, and the information is managed properly. So if this information is used properly, maybe in terms of analysis and getting insight from this information, it's going to help the organization in improvement, and also you'll be able now even to recommend different type of training and also performance management. So it is the driving agent of an organization, HR records. So it is very important for us to look at it and also to make sure that we have the right records. Let me just give you a scenario where employee A comes to an organization called XX. And this organization, they join immediately and they are given out to the manager for them to continue the work. And they have not been given any record. And there is the company BB, which has a proper induction process where they are, when you come during the recruitment, feedback is given, and then there is the first interview, second interview, and then you're given an offer letter, you sign, you come get a contract, get the code of conduct training. There is a proper training. So where do you see that which company the staff will feel more comfortable and also they are going to perform well? Is it in the company AA or in the company BB? So which company? Regina?
The company where they are being taken through the entire recruitment process.
The company AA, there is no recruitment process. The company BB.
Oh, so it's BB, yeah, BB, sorry, BB. Okay.
There is Collins. What can you say? Collins.
Yes. Concur with company B as well, because the employee will feel valued by the recruitment process as well, since it's accurate.
So it is very important. This is a very big determinant in an organization. So when you're doing any sort of HR work, make sure that the first day when a staff come get the records, it is very important. It will show a level of commitment, and also they will have trust with the organization. Because now when an employee come and they are working, they have no any record, they have not been given any data form, no, they have not been given any contract. They are neither here nor there. But when you give a contract, they know they have been given an offer letter, they have been given, they have to settle. They will always settle. So it is very important for you to do that. And it settles a lot of issues that we have in the HR department. So, like for example, now the staff in company AA, they get an emergency, they have maybe fallen down and they have died. Where are you going to get the records of their family members? So it is very important for us as auditors to advise the management of any organization that HR records are the key things, are one of the key practices that will really help the organization in stabilizing their employees, in stabilizing the issues that they have in place. So what type of, or what is evaluated in functional audit? So we always evaluate policies, processes, and procedures. So SOPs, the policies we have in place. Then also, something very important is that we also we evaluate compliance with the legal and the internal requirements. We always say that there is no policy that supersedes the laws of the land. So it's either you give them, you adhere and make sure you are better, but you cannot supersede what the law provides. Then something else that is very important that is evaluated in these in the HR functions is effectiveness and efficiency of HR policies. How effective and efficient, how effective are they going to have any impact in terms of business? And how can they fasten maybe the process of the HR practices that we have in place? Then use of resources and technology. So in these eras, like right now, I don't know where Mr. Wafura is right now. I don't know where Purity is. You don't know where I am, but we can communicate. So how do you use our resources and technology? We can train ourselves through through a way that maybe we are not seeing each other, but we can connect. Something else that we talked about is alignment with organizational goals. So remember, the current situation of HR is change of focus on effectiveness, organizational effectiveness. So how is it aligned to the organizational goals? So you need to understand the mission, vision, and core values. Then something very important is about the culture and satisfaction and experience. So we always say that your staff are your first customers. But in most of the organization, you'll find that staff are mistreated, and therefore that is how you first lose your customers. They'll go out to you, they are saying that this organization is a bad organization, so don't buy from them. So they will put blame even if they are working. But when they are satisfied, when you recommend for them now to get the best experience in the organization, you'll find that they will own the process. So that is very important. So let us look at the key areas of review. Where are we supposed to review? Something very important, and I think even Mr. Wafula talked about it, and the other group, Barak talked about this workforce planning. So in that case scenario of us, there was no workforce planning. So you cannot tell how people are recruited. There is no the right process for recruitment to be done. Then there is an issue of job analysis and design. So when you're doing performance management, it is important to make sure that the job descriptions are aligned. You need to analyze the value or what a person handles or what is expected of them. You may find organizations, they want to carry out performance management, but the first step that you need to do is to analyze what the staff does, then design the proper job descriptions. Then also review recruitment process and quality of hire. So as we talked about the key HR functions, so we are supposed to look at the recruitment processes. Maybe you'll find that even there was no approval for recruitment, but a position has been created from the skies. So learning and development effectiveness, any training that is done or any sort of activities done to develop people, how effective has it brought any impact in terms of organization growth? Then something very important that you ought to check is the performance appraisal systems. So Are they fair? These performance appraisals, you'll find that there are some organization, you'll find that managers, they're not fair. They will always do as how they know the staff, not what the staff does. So if maybe they had a grudge with the staff, they fought for something outside the organization or outside the work. So it's going to be brought in the organization. So there must be a fair performance appraisal system that that is dependent on data, not emotions. Then how rewards and recognition practices. Are these staff recognized for what they do? If someone has done the right thing and they have maybe done some improvements and also they have made the organization better, they need to be rewarded. On the other side, if a person is not performing, they have their own reward. You can give them a PIP. So you need to review this. Then also employee engagement and relations. So how staff are they engaged? How are they always behaving when they're in the organization, or how are they being handled when they're in the organization, and how is their relationship maybe between a junior to senior and senior to junior. So how are their relationships? Then also you need to look at the grievance handling mechanism. So you'll find that issues have been raised and then there is someone who is sitting on them. So you find those people that we call brokers, they have blocked the process. So you need to have a very clear sort of a grievance, because now if these grievances are not handled, you may find them leading to litigation cases. That is a risk. Then HR data accuracy and integrity. So when these data is um, is needed, is it accurate? So what has been provided by the staff or what you're providing, is it accurate? So it's very important. And also automation is very important in the organization. Right now, we cannot operate operate without technology. Things are moving. You cannot use Excel sheet to the end. So maybe Excel sheet you'll use, but on the other side, which systems? I always talked about people, process, then controls. Then after controls, you need to automate the processes. When you have developed the SOPs, put them in a system in such a way that now when you're doing your performance management, it is not going to be based on emotions. It is going to be based with what people did, and it is in black and white in the systems. And also now you need to check on the overall HR service delivery. So you need to check each of the functions. What is the correlation to the business performance? So the ones that they have gaps, you need to highlight them and also give information to your client. So what are the outcomes of these functional audit? What do they help? They help improve HR processes and productivity. So if the processes in the HR functions are done properly, so they are not done properly, and now you recommend them and they become better, so they will help in improving the processes and also productivity. They will also better employee experience and retention. So when there is a clear way of performance management, when the workforce is well planned, they are rewarded and recognized. So you'll find that there is better experience. Then also it does mitigation of risk and also compliance assurance. So when you make sure that the processes have been automated, no one can go against what is expected of them. And also now, you base everything on the compliance to the laws in the land. Then also it's going to help in decision making and strategic alignment. So when you do this type of audit, you are able now to tell the organization that this is your misalignment to uh, your strategic duty or your strategy, and also it will help in contribution to business performance. So when now you identify the gaps in training, in performance management, when they are aligned to the mission, vision, and core values of the organization, you will find that the business will improve. So something very important. what is our focus area? So in any sort of audit, compliance is key. So you make sure that, as we have said, that there are no policies that are superior than the laws of the land. So ensure adherence to the labor laws, policies, and internal controls. So when you're doing the functional audit, you must make sure that it is compliant to the provisions of the law, the policies that have been put in place, and also internal control. So you'll find the common gaps. The common gaps that you'll find is that there is the policy gaps, there is process inefficiencies, there is poor documentation, lack of training, communication gaps, and weak control. So when you identify this, now you are supposed to give recommendation, as we have done in the previous case. So let us look at the bottom line of all these functional audit. So we'll say that functional audit strengthens HR systems to drive employee performance and business success. So in functional audit, when now you audit the functions of the HR department, so when now you drive them towards making sure that you have shared the insights, they will drive to employee performance and business success if they are going to be adhered to. But if you know that there's some time you share information with the management of an organization, and thereafter you'll find that they have shelved the information and it is not going to be of any importance. So it is important that when they get such information, um, you they use it. And maybe before you do the audit, to have a way of maybe an agreement. Maybe you can support them in regards to doing the implementation. So do we have any reaction or a question based on functional audit? And today people are not talking. Jacinta, say something. What have you grasped on functional audit? Jacinta, I can see Wilfred want to say something.
Not really, but good morning.
Good morning.
I want us, for example, to zero in on this issue of training and development.
Yes.
And you find that most of the government institutions, for where I work, for example, I work for Teacher Service Commission.
Mm-hmm.
We might not be having a very robust training and development program.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you go about identifying the gaps that need to be addressed so that we might have a robust training and development program in the, for example, the Teacher Service Commission? What documents do I need? Do I need, for example, to interview people to know what is needed?
Mm-hmm.
So, for example, what could be the risk of in for Teacher Service Commission for not having a robust training and development program?
So the big risk is that now the transmission of the knowledge to the students may not be as per the requirement or as the best that we supposed to have. Because now, most of the time, the feedback of the customer, who is our customer here?
The teachers, we deal with teachers, yeah.
No, I'm saying, who are our customers?
The customers are the teachers.
The teachers. And
we
teachers
manage teacher functions, teachers functions, yeah.
So you are the manager of the teacher, and teacher
Yes.
serves who? And the teacher serves who?
The teacher is supposed to serve the students.
The students. So now the students.
We serve the teachers and the teachers serve the students, yeah.
Yes. So it therefore means now you are managing you are the managers to your employee. Your employees are the teachers. Now.
Yes.
And now who are your customers? Your customers are the students, right? So what you can do, the first thing is now to assess the quality of service which is being given to the customer. So that is the first step. What quality of maybe education, the skills, how do they get the information that are being transferred to them properly? So the feedback from either the student or even the parents, because now the students and the parents, they are. So when you get now, how you'll get now to get the need is by assessing what the clients are getting. So you may find in a certain region, there is a problem maybe with communication, how they communicate to the staff, to the student. So the TNA should be done to the person who is being given the service. So you need to look at the feedback. You need to get the feedback either from the parents and also from even their direct managers in the schools. So then now after that, and also even them, you may find a staff, they understand that they have, so they have a weakness. They understand they have a weakness. So you can evaluate by using the students, the parents, their line managers, and also themselves for them to identify. Then you now analyze the data and come up with a program that is going to help them in supporting. You come up with a program that is going to help them in achieving what they need to achieve.
Can I add something also?
Thank you.
We can also identify the training gaps from maybe what is this called? Disciplinary hearings, the occurrence of disciplinary hearings, and whatever is discussed. So you can identify a gap in training from that, or from also appraisals. From appraisal, you can know where teachers want to be, we can be able to train on something. So I think some of those, these things are where you can be able to get those training needs or gaps from, whatever you can be able to train on.
But the most one, where are you going to get it from?
Yeah, I think as she has said, most of the training apps can be got from the, if you have had disciplinary, issues with the employees, that is one of the places you can get. There must be a problem where we are having so many discipline issues. Maybe from the performance appraisals that we conduct on a regular basis, you can also be able to get those gaps. You can do surveys from among the employees themselves to be able to give you those gaps, so that you can know what to deal with.
Yeah, but now when you're doing the appraisals, I understand that in the government we always do appraisals once a year, right?
We have quarterly appraisals which are done every 3 months. We do appraisals of what we do. But the major problem on these performance appraisals in the government is that the employees themselves are told to set the targets. We don't have specific targets of what the employees are supposed to do. So sometimes either you set very weak targets, or you set targets that do not meet the standards. So that is an issue that I wanted to propose, that maybe the performance management supervisors can be able to set standard targets, so that you can even be able to appraise using standard targets. But when you leave people to set their own targets, and those are the ones you are going to appraise them on, sometimes you get very funny targets.
But I think that is something that now it's an audit that we can that is supposed to be done to the Teacher Service Commission. The way of that is a gap that you have already identified. So
that's this program is trying to open some of some of us to be able to see where we might be having challenges that in the future we might be able to recommend. Yeah.
Because now, like performance management process, if you know, it's a whole session for maybe like 3-4 sessions of 3 hours. Performance management, it's a very long process. And if one step is missed, you'll find that things are not going to go as expected. Okay, thank you very much. So anyone else with a reaction? Anyone want to react? Jacinta, or you're the one who was speaking? Jacinta? Okay, Bonawafula, today you have not spoken. You only presented.
No, I'm following. It's okay.
Okay.
Robert, if I may kindly.
Yes.
There's something that you mentioned that really resonated with me. When we are saying why are we evaluating the aspect of aligning with the organization goals for profitability. Yeah. So now I'm handling 3 companies as we speak, but my key focus is on one company which is a startup. When I joined this company, they didn't have any policies, any procedures. Now I managed to streamline the recruitment and selection, the employee relations, the HR records and information management, and compensation and benefits. But we are still working on a performance management structure that will really accommodate not only this one startup, but the whole of the three companies altogether.
Yes.
But I'm finding a challenge. You see, in this startup, when I joined, they had a different culture altogether. And I must say, I didn't even know about the functional audit, but these are things I kept doing because I felt as a HR, we need to have structures and policies in place, inclusive of the procedures. But you find out that it's very difficult to change this culture. There are things that they used to, the boss used to finance them from her pocket, whatever they wanted, all that was being done by her. But at this point, we have streamlined something. We have come with structures whereby all these finances need to go through the finance office. But now that's where the challenge comes in. We are finding a lot of negativity, a lot of withdrawal, and in a way, it's affecting operation because one structure that I use the system, this workpay system, but it failed on one of the companies. But we are really, really trying to stabilize it in the startup. Yeah. But you find these people are not accustomed to these things. No matter how much you train them, they'll still forget to do the basic things like clocking in, clocking out, application of things like advances, loans. They are forgetting to go through the system. Now, in such a scenario, how will the functional audit lead me to aligning the team's expectation and aspirations with the company's new structures, policies, and procedures?
So there is one question that I'm going to ask. Have you trained these staff in terms of what the organization want to transform to?
Yes, we have had several training sessions with the team, but I think it's a mindset kind of thing. Yeah.
So I think the best thing that you can do is that you can come up with maybe a memo. You come up with a memo, give them to sign, and then have a plan in terms of succession. Maybe this may be something that has happened to me in course of my work. I went to an organization. They were used to a certain sort of a culture. So what was happening is that they had the same behaviors. So what I did is that I started identifying talents that can come in to replace or do a succession plan. I did a succession plan. So whenever this person, maybe they have failed to adhere to what is expected of the organization, I take an action against them because they need to comply. So it's basically matters to do with enforcement. So you need to enforce. So there is a compliance thing, and the organization has a way of operation. So it is very important that people need to adhere to. So train them again, and then from there, if someone is going to veer from what is expected of them, maybe you can give a warning letter. You can, if maybe someone has become rude, you can take action and fire the person. So when you do that, and also now you have someone that that can succeed them, they will start now seeing the impact. Or on the other side, a better way, you may bring in maybe some sort of like interns who are going to be working hand in hand with them. They will start now. When these interns are told to do whatever is expected of them, it's going to force them, because now they will see this is going to push me out if I'm not going to adhere to what is expected of me. So it is a way. It is just a mindset, as you have said, but it is a matter of enforcement. Barak?
Thank you very, very much, Robert. That's really insightful. I think I will borrow from you on that, and then maybe we can see. I believe by the time the 5 weeks are over of our session, I would have noticed several things inclusive of this. And yeah, thank you very much for that insight, bro.
Yeah, if even if it's outside here, you can just reach out. We can try to help you. We can
I
help you.
appreciate you. I
Yeah,
appreciate
we are a big team here. I think we are almost 10 of us. If you can call us, we can support. I don't know if others, you're okay with that. Yeah. So it's important that, as I said, that in this course, we are going to be supporting each other. So you can reach out to me offline. You can reach out to any other person, maybe, and also get support. Other direction as we move forward to the next level. Do you have anyone else? Okay, so let us move now to the next one. That is strategic audit. So here is just assessing how HR functions supports the organizational strategic direction. And does it create value? And create or build capability for future. So strategy is something that we want to achieve. So we focus on these areas whereby we check on HR strategy alignment, assess alignment of HR strategies with the business goal. So we need, first of all, to understand the business strategy that we are having. So like, for example, in the next 5 years, we are supposed to improve our sales by 20 million US dollars. So in the HR department, what are we supposed to do? Do we have, number two, do we have that capability, workforce capability to match what we want to do? Then how are we managing our talents? How do we have that succession plan, as I was telling you, Barak? Succession plan. Sometimes succession planning help organization in fighting the battle of people who don't want to change. So where someone has been placed there. So how are we getting those talents? How are we managing our talents to make sure that we have future readers, we have future technicians, we have future people who are going to take over? Because people are getting old, we may have some resignations, we may have some maybe people dying. So it is important. How are we going to be able now to get get to that level of getting the 100 million US dollars by the next 5 years? Or you may find yourself now, like what Barack was saying, is that they have tried to shift. So how capability of this stuff in terms of change management, or in accepting the change. Something now very important that we need to focus is assess the culture, employee engagement, and behavior enablers. So if we are going to continue like Barack has an issue, continue enabling this behavior of someone is not using the system in application or in following a certain process. So is this culture going to be able to, is it going to be, make us able to get into future whereby we want to get that level of sales? Is yes or no? And also, is the HR department contributing to the business competitiveness? So what is our competitive advantage in terms of maybe skills, in terms of learning and development, in terms of compensation? So how is the HR department creating value? Are we getting lower level sort of staff? Are we doing the recruitment in the right way? And also now, how is the HR department reviewing people risk? And also, is it sustainable? Is it sustainable for the practices that we have in place? Whereby we are, like, for example, if we are firing staff at the end of, we are firing the staffs at the end of every month, we have a rate of turnover of staff, their leaving organization on every month. They are resigning on daily basis. Is it going to be able to help us in attaining the strategy of the organization? So these are the areas that we need to check in. So what is evaluated? So we always check the alignment of HR goals with the business strategy. So we need to understand the mission, vision, and core values. Then also workforce planning and future readiness. So how are we ready for the future? So how are we, it is, as always the military they say that you train hard and fight easy. How are we planning our workforce for future readiness? So also talent acquisition, retention, and succession. So talent acquisition, what is the process that we are using? And also the retention. How is your client or how organization are doing it? How are you retaining your staff? Or you are throwing away the staffs that are old and maybe they have a lot of experience, and also now retaining them is whereby the new joiners are getting better pay than the old staff. So you need to look at that. And also succession, in case now there is a loss or a staff has maybe been promoted, how can you are you going to be able to fill in the process, the position? So always make sure that in organization that you are in, or where you're going to handle as an auditor or as a consultant, is that in matters to do with succession, make sure that you tell the organization to be any manager or any staff to have their mini them. So there's a culture that you need to build in them, that every person, if it's Robert, you need to have a mini Robert who can handle what Robert handles. If it is Barack, you get an intern who can do whatever you can do in an organization. But basically, in organizations, you will find that people think that when you transfer the knowledge that you have, you're going to lose your business, or you're going to lose your position. So that should not be the case. So when you give a chance to someone to learn, you always give yourself an opportunity to go further. So it is important. So leadership effectiveness and bench stretch. So how is effective in terms of leadership? Maybe the EXCO, the executive committee, the executive people in the organization. How are they in terms of their effectiveness? And also, how can they overstretch? Then also organization culture. It is how how can you handle issues in an organization, and how do you always view others? Because you find, and how do you do communication? Because that is the issues to do with organizations, where you find that grapevine informations they lead to organization losing their cultures. Then there is HR policies, frameworks, and governance. Do we have policies that and frameworks that will help in governance of the organization? Because we say that HR department is the engine of the organization, and also use data in terms of decision making. Like for example, you've been given that the rate, the sales focus for an organization is like 230 million per month. So how can you use this data in making sure that you have the right structure? Then return on investment. Anything that you do these days, you are asked of ROI. So, so what is that? That if you are going to carry out all the strategic value that you will have on the investment that is going to be given. If an organization is doing a diversification, as Barack was saying, he's handling three. What is the value that you're creating? In the HR initiative, maybe you have asked money to do a breakfast. What is the value? Is the value seen in terms of the initiative that you're coming up with? Maybe you're coming up with a medical insurance. So how how is the return on investment? Then let us look at key sources reviewed, the business strategies and annual plans. So when now you are handling strategic audit, you need to look at business strategies, maybe 5, 3 years, and also the annual plans. Then workforce planning and talent dashboard. So how have you planned maybe for the future change? So you need to look at the talents that you have in place. Are they improving? Are they going down? Or what is needed of them for them now to be the people that the future that you want them to be? Um, then HR policies, procedures, and frameworks. So that is something which is self-explanatory. People analytics and HR metrics. So you need to check on different type of metrics. All right. So on matters to do with employee survey, always engage to get data. So you can do maybe a HOHI, organization health intelligence, which is going to give you information in terms of what is going on in the organization. Then also benchmarking in the industry, best practice. You may find that you may be having the best strategy, but in terms of other organization also doing something called competitor analysis, which is benchmarking. So you know what your competitors are doing. Maybe when you're doing that audit, you compare the same level of organization to the current organization that you have in place. Then we look at the outcomes. So what is going to come in after now doing the audit? Stronger alignment between HR and business strategy. So here it's how aligned is HR in terms of the strategies that we have. So we need to align ourselves. Then future ready workforce and leadership pipeline. So always in future you need to have a workforce that is ready for what is coming in the next 5 years. So how are they ready? So improve employee engagement and culture when you do those survey and benchmark. Then also enhance productivity and performance. It's going to come in. And then also matters to do with risk management and sustainability. Then you're going to be doing strategic informed decision. You're not just going to be making decision in terms of your emotions. Then also increased value contribution of HR department. So the main focus here, and in all the three of them we have seen, is that we make sure that we are rigorously compliant, and also we are compliant to the internal governance requirement of the organization for us to achieve our strategic goal. Then common gaps that we have in place is the strategy alignment, skills gap, weak succession planning, poor engagement, and people risk. So as we have said, is that the most important thing that we need to do in strategy is succession planning, whereby you find that if you're going to lose an employee, you're not going to feel a very big impact. So it is important to take your audit to a level that you're able to identify um, those strategy misalignments, skill gaps, poor engagement, and people risk. So what is our bottom line in terms of strategic audit? Is that we ensure HR is a driver of strategy. So always know that the HR department is a driver of the strategy. So you need to build a competitive workforce and deliver sustainable business impact. So we need to create value. We need to make sure that when you're doing a strategic audit, you're able to come up with ways of making sure that you deliver a sustainable business impact to the organization through the insights that you give. So any question? Do you have any question, any reaction before we go now to the next level?
Thank you, Robert. Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you.
Oh, thank you. I just wanted to test my mic. Thank you.
No,
I'm
say something.
following
You have tested. So please, can you say something? Today you've been so quiet.
No, my mic had problem. I was talking. The first time that you called me to share what I've learned from the functional audit, I spoke, but you couldn't hear me. I'm sorry for that.
Okay, tell us what you learned in functional and also strategic audit.
So for functional, I just picked that it's all about the HR functions in an organization. That are the key focus areas. And then the strategic one, the key thing is understanding the organization. It's kind of linking the HR. You align the HR policies in relation to the strategic policies of an organization for them to be met, to stay competitive. Yeah. Thank you. I'm glad now you can hear me. Now we can communicate. Thank you.
Thank you, good friend. Jacinta, sorry. So anyone else who want to make maybe any comment? Regina, you have not spoken today.
I have. Sorry, I have a lot of time. So
Okay. Let us give a chance to Lydia. Lydia, we want to hear your voice today.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Yeah. From the audits, the strategic audit, what I've come to learn and in line with my organization is basically on the talent management. Like currently what I'm experiencing is the long recruitment cycles, approval of new positions, and the slow onboarding process. So with this, I know how to. With this, I'll monitor the HR KPIs regularly, so that to put a gap on the long recruitment cycles. Yeah.
Okay.
And also on the compliance and also on the strategic improvements.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
So I have like 5 minutes, and then we'll take a short break. So let me just look at let us look at HR audit and business link. So how do we link ourselves, the audit to business? So what is HR audit? HR audit is a systematic review of HR policies, processes, systems, and practices. So in HR audit, it's review of policies, process, systems, and practices. It is also help us to identify gaps, risk, and improvements opportunities. So on this side of HR audit, we are able to identify gaps. We first of all need to review the documentation, the processes and practices. Then we identify gaps, risk, and improvement opportunities. Then we evaluate effectiveness and alignment with business objective. So when now we evaluate the alignment to the business objective, we ensure compliance and minimize HR risk. So in strategic HR focus, so what do we do? As we have said in strategy, now we need to shift ourselves from operating like administrative people. We need to change to strategic HR focus. When now we focus as strategic HR auditors and also consultants and also professionals, we bridge the gap, align people with the strategy. We align people's strategy with business strategy. So we align HR department with what is provided in the organization as a business strategy. Then we improve efficiency and productivity, and then enhance employee experience, build a future-ready workforce. Because we can do everything that we want to say. We can align people's strategy with business, improve efficiency. But now when we don't enhance employee effectiveness, where we talked about the people culture and also organization effectiveness. So it is very important people, if you're not going to treat them right, give them the best. Also understand the market. You'll find that you're going to lose the staff. And if you're going to have the best, giving the best to employees, you'll be able now to build a future-ready workforce in relations to the business strategy that you have. So it is now focusing as a strategic HR person, not an administrative person. Then what is going to come in? So this is where now we link HR audit and business. So as an impact, where we said that we need to create value, we said that we are the engine of the organization. And we said that HR audit is not just a matter of compliance. It is all about creating value and driving business success. So when we do our HR audit, then we align ourselves as strategic professionals. We are going to automatically improve on performance and productivity. Number two, cost optimization, whereby we are going to make sure that there is proper governance and everyone will be able now to be accountable. And thus, it's going to bring a return on investment. Then number three, higher employee engagement and retention. So when now you recognize your staff, you put them in you have been able to analyze what is expected in the market, and then you align yourself towards that and also towards your goals, you find that there is higher employee engagement and also involving people in what you do. Don't do it as you and then you use a military rule. No, engage people. If you want to do the best way of doing change management, engage them. Let them do it for themselves, and then you rubber stamp. Then better align with the business goals. So align the HR department with the business goal. When you're doing the HR audit, make sure that you have understood the mission, vision, and core values. As I said from the start, when you go to an organization, before you do any audit, first of all, understand what is their business processes, what they do, and what the mind of the owner when they were starting the business. Think like them. And then that at that point, you are able now to identify issues in terms of functional, in terms of strategic. Then sustainable growth and competitive advantage. This is going to become automatic when you have aligned yourself in terms of all the functions, in terms of goals of the organization, and also now the practices that we have in the HR department. So that is very important. So let us look at effective HR or drive stronger strategies, mitigate risk, and ensure good governance. But before that, Do we have any reaction in regards to this? Hope everyone has understood. By show of hands, have you understood this? Or any reaction? Thank you, Wilfred. Jacinta, good. Barak, thank you. Rimesi, Regina, good. Thank you. Redi, I can see you. Thank you. So effective HR audit drives stronger strategies, mitigate risk, and ensure governance. So business strategy. So we need to do workforce planning and talent alignment. Then risk management. We need to mitigate legal risk. We need to do financial risk and operational risks. Then in terms of corporate governance, we need to put people to be accountable. Their mass processes should be very transparent and also involve controls. So I'll always talk about this: people, process, controls, digitize. Then after digitizing, make sure that you evaluate, and then growth is going to be automatic. So HR audit creates a connection between people, process, and performance to deliver sustainable business value. So before we go to the commercial break, any reaction? Any reaction? So we have 8 minutes. So do you have anything? By show of hands, are we good? So we need to create connection between people, process, and performance. So there is something I'm going to drop on the chat box. You can read it through, and then we meet after we're going to take like 10 minutes break. You take coffee, then we will come back and now continue. So by 11:02, we are coming back. So thank you very much. I'm going to stop. So we are back. Thank you very much. So hope everyone is back. You can hear me? Jacinta, you can hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Yes, I can hear you.
Oh, okay.
Robert, you can check out who is on the waiting room. I think Purity got knocked out.
She need to exit because she has joined. Okay, yeah. I've admitted her. So now, have you read through our case here? So have you read through what I've shared on the chat? So have we read what is on the chat? So, Jacinta, you've said you've read.
Yes, I have.
There's someone here that is cannot who is saying that they have not seen. Let me just reshare it again. Okay, so what have you noted with the case? Jacinta, what have you noted with the case? Jacinta. Barak.
Yes.
So how is the case? Is this a funny case? Is this what sort of a case is this?
It's,
or what type of?
I can say this is an issue that happens at our workplace regularly. As a HR, when we hear a notice of the opening meeting for an audit process, we always tend to keep our house in order. We check the files if they are accurately done. It depends with the audit. If it's payroll, we check the payroll documents to ensure that everything is in order. If it's deductions, they were done as per the guidelines. If it's training, it was done as per the guidelines. But on the contrary, we have some departments, like now the business development. For them, it was a business opportunity, networking platform. So I think we need to shift. As a HR, we need to shift. We should always be compliant. We don't wait the last minute or when we hear there is an audit for us to now try to do what is right. So always we should ensure that our house is in order from the word go.
Good.
Thank you. It should not be situational.
Barak.
From what I see it, I can notice there was some level of unpreparedness. The fact that now the audit should be tomorrow, that's when everybody is rushing. That's the HR department and the finance. That shows me there was some level of unpreparedness. And I think in HR we need to do this as our daily task. Whenever you're doing a procedure or a process in the company, you need to be to do it as if you're doing an audit preparedness kind of thing. In that once you're done with it, you don't have to rush back and check if it was okay and all that. And that's why I feel problems come in. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Robert.
Yes.
I see some little suckers. But sensible suckers. Yeah?
Okay, tell us, Barbara.
I see the consultant, in other words, this business that has, where the CEO has declared, rather, I said they have an audit. Now the auditors have come, meaning this is a consultant that also being audited. Why? The business development manager is announcing that they do HR consultant service, meaning they're also consultants. Now, at the end of the audit, business cards have been shared, networks have been made, meaning that the other auditors that came to audit are also going to be audited. So it's funny, but meaning that even consultants can be audited.
Yes. Any other reaction? Purity, Kinoti.
I think for myself, from the case scenario, I see a level of unpreparedness from the HR and the finance department. And I think this has been the mindset for those two departments. Every time we see auditors, it usually an issue of compliance. I think I think it's two departments that have blocked, failed to open the mindset to the strategy development of the companies. So I think it's a call for the HR and mostly the finance department, a wake up call of the shift of the focus. That the audit is not basically about the functional and the compliance, but rather it can also support the strategic development of the company.
Okay. Thank you. We go to Wilfred.
I concur with what my colleagues have said on the issues that are there. But the most important thing is that what we, as human resource professionals, what we need to do is that whatever activity that we do, we should do like we are auditing the same activity. For example, if it's recruitment, we should be able to ensure that the documentation is available, and all the documents that ensure full recruitment is also available, so that we don't go backwards or we don't allow other people to be able to audit what we have done.
Perfect. We go to who? Collins. Collins.
Yes. I also concur with my colleagues, as they've mentioned. It's all about accountability of processes and procedures. As a HR, it always needs to be followed to the latter, so that whenever such audit comes in, there's no any panic, because you know that all the procedures and processes have been followed to the latter, and also the employee records as well are updated. So yeah.
Good. We've not heard from Regina. Lydia had raised their hands.
Should I go first or Lydia?
No, go first. Then Lydia is going to take over.
Okay, from me, my takeout from this scenario, I can say that the HR and the finance department always view the most of these impromptu audits as like compliance and more of what have we not done, instead of going with the mindset of getting the opportunity to get maybe corrected, or not rather corrected, getting gaps so that we can be able to identify how we can be able to align whatever we're doing to business strategies, so that we can be able to ultimately align to the business goal. Because if we can be able to note that there is maybe there is no records of financial maybe reports from the finance, to mean that ultimately there's something wrong. Also in the long run, can be able to not be able to balance books. So there will be some issues. So it is important we do a lot of the small HR audits before, so that we can be prepared for those major impromptu audits. Yeah, that is it for me.
Thank you. There is Lydia, then Barak.
From my side, what I can say that as much as HR will often approach audit as from the compliance perspective, that is more of identify the grace, closing the gaps, and ensuring adherence to the policies and labor laws, and also in line with the business processes. The business development sees that as an opportunity, and we can also say that maybe we should look at an audit. It's more than a compliance check. It should also be an opportunity for us in the HR department to demonstrate our expertise, build credibility, and strengthen the business relationship.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Lydia. Barak, I can see your hand is up.
Thank you very much. I want to agree with my fellow colleagues and Lydia for that input. I really agree with you. Lastly, I can see the story that you've put, I'm tending to see some two things. The unpreparedness that I said, but also I feel that it tells us that we need also to learn and be open to build relationships. And that comes out from what the business development manager did. I feel that way by networking and building these relationships, no matter how harsh these people had come, you've already created that rapport. As a matter of fact, rather than them scrutinizing you, they might end up helping you. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much. What I can just say from what we are supposed to learn from this case is that, provided that you are you make sure always you are ready, do what is right. And this is now, we need to shift our minds towards what this guy is saying, or what this guy did, the business development guy. So we need now to shift and always see opportunities, not seeing ourselves as victims, because that is our case. So, and how are we going to make sure that we do this? It's by whatever we are doing right now, learning, by understanding what is expected of us, understanding, for you to take that step of coming to this class, understanding, it's going to help you always to be ready. I remember there is one organization I was working in when I joined this career in HR department. Their slogan used to be compliance 105%. 105%. I remember that is how I came to understand about compliance. And I'm telling you, even if we were in a very exposed market, the guys from the national government, from anywhere, they were coming and they didn't even get any sort of issues. They could not raise anything in regards to anything concerning the HR department, the departments, any other departments, because compliance was 105%. And the thing was that every time they come, they'll just tell you, okay, now we don't have anything to say, buy us lunch and we go. The good thing, the organization had a section where we had a canteen. We just go buy them food from our canteen and we are good to go. Then someone leaves you with a business card, and also you create a relationship. When you have an issue, you will call them. So it's basically compliance and also making sure that you are handling things on time. It will really help us, and as auditors and as HR professionals, as a consultant. So it is important to do that. So thank you for your feedback, and also thank you for your insights. And also, I can say it's really becoming a very interactive class, and we are sharing and also learning from each other. So now let us look at HR audit frameworks and tools, but I'm going just to tackle about HR audit frameworks. Then in the next sessions, we are going to handle HR audit tools, and then as we continue, because what we have handled today, it's important. I don't want to give you a lot of information that you're not going to be able to digest. I want us to move slowly by slowly, so that now at the end of the period, we are able to use what we have learned, other than giving you too much and then we are not able to understand. So so let us look at HR, difference between HR frameworks and tools. So HR audit frameworks, these are structured approaches to assess HR systems, identify gaps, manage risk, and improve HR effectiveness. So these are approaches. How do you approach it to assess HR systems? And then the tools. These are techniques used to correct data, analyze information, and support audit findings and recommendation. So in this era, you cannot use just a normal questionnaire. You write, you go print, and then you send to people. No, there are different ways. You can use surveys. you can use observation. So those are tools that are being, and also maybe on the other side, in analysis, you may use different type of tools. So the thing is that these frameworks will help us in doing our work. So it will help us in terms of what we want to achieve. So the right framework and tool ensure accurate assessment, better insights, and continuous improvement in HR. So now in this, we are going to start with the frameworks. So there are different factors that we are going to look at to determine what type of frameworks. But first of all, let us understand different types of frameworks that we have in place. So when we talk about frameworks, as we have said, is that these are HR audit frameworks. They provide structures, or as we have said, these are approaches that we use to assess HR systems. So HR audit frameworks provide a structured approach to assess HR systems, identify gaps, and improve effectiveness and ensure alignment with the organization goals. So we said right now we are changing our mindset from just compliance, now look at the organization goals, because now we need to give value to the organization. We need to show our value, not to be discriminated and not getting to those boardrooms. And how are you going to make sure that we're in those boardrooms? By making sure that you are showing the return on investment of it all of the department, or showing the value that you can create, and understanding that the engine of the organization is in the HR department. So we have 4 different type of frameworks. We have a compliance-based framework. The compliance-based framework is based on labor laws, or focuses on labor laws, policies, statutory requirement, and documentation. So when you are doing a compliance audit, you base yourself, so we use the compliance-based framework. Then there is functional HR audit framework, where it focuses on the key function in HR, that is recruitment, training, performance management, compensation, running and development, everything. Then we have the strategic HR audit framework. So it basically focuses on business alignment with HR alignment with the business strategy alignment. Then there is workforce planning. Then we look at the contribution of HR departments towards the organization goal and also the culture. So, and then we have number 4. Another sort of framework is risk-based HR audit framework. So it focuses on high-risk HR areas, legal exposures, operational weaknesses, and business continuity risk. So here we focus on how will us not handling things as per the compliance, as per the functional, as per the strategic way, how are they going to be, what is going to be the results? So that is the reason why we have the risk-based HR audit framework. So I think you've understood. Have we understood? So I want to check in. Have we understood? Radio is still, your hand is up. Lydia, your hand is up. You want to say something? Okay. Thank you, Regina. What about others? Have you understood the frameworks? I've only seen Regina saying she is okay. By show of hands, Wilfred, thank you. So therefore, we have the 4 frameworks that are used. So let us look how to identify which framework to adopt different types of scenarios. So compliance-based framework.
Robert.
Yes.
Sorry for this, but I had put something on the messages on the chat.
Okay. Let me check.
Come up again on the strategic, on that part of the strategic HR audit. No, is this page? Yes, on the frameworks. Yes, the strategic HR. Amma, that's what you wanted to explain next.
No. So the strategic is mostly checks on how HR is aligned to the bigger picture of the organization. how is it aligned to the mission, vision, and core values? And also, in terms of the strategy, how is the HR practices aligned to what you want to achieve in future in terms of the strategy? How is your workforce planned to achieve what the organization want to achieve in the next 5 years? And also, what will be the contribution, or now what is the value the HR department is creating towards the achievement of the company strategic goals? And also the organization culture that you are creating in terms of achieving what you want to achieve. It's like, for example, when you want to be ISO certified, so there are some things that you need to look at. So all these in terms of compliance, functional, and strategic, you need to align yourself, and also in terms of risk. So you need to align yourself. So how is the HR department aligned towards the strategic goal of the organization? So here is just not focusing as what happens or just checking. It is what do you provide for future preparation. So how prepared are you currently in terms of future changes? So that is the strategic HR audit framework. Have you understood?
Interesting, Robert. Thank you very much.
Thank you, my brother. So let us move to the next level. So how do you identify which framework to adopt in different types of scenarios? Right? So compliance-based framework, it is used best when the organization want to check legal compliance, as it has the name compliance-based framework. There are concerns about labor law violations, preparation for inspection or audit. You'll find that maybe there is one staff who took you to the labor office. Now the labor office are concerned, or you find 2 or 3 staff. Now they will request for a labor inspection. So this compliance framework, the policies and documentations are outdated. You'll find that maybe in some years back, you have not yet done a policy review. So you'll have to use this type of framework. So common scenarios that we have in this framework is missing employee contract, incorrect statutory deductions, OSHA concern, leave or payroll disputes. So those are the issues that bring in. When you hear of this, you know that there's a compliance issue, and the framework to use is, the technique to use is just to check against what is provided in the law. Then focus area, employment law, statutory compliance, HR policies, and documentation accuracy. It's just basically that. So then also in functional HR, best used when HR department are underperforming. So management want to improve HR efficiency. So that is when you use this type of framework. And then there are operational HR challenges. Like, for example, disciplinary processes are not being handled. There is also matters to do with ghost workers. So such things that happens, you need now to use this type of framework. So common scenarios, there is poor recruitment process. As I have said, maybe you'll find ghost workers, weak performance management systems, then high employee turnover where employees are leaving organizations, and then you want to do maybe a TNA. So areas of focus mostly is the functional HR functions, the functional part of the HR department, that is recruitment, training, performance management, employee relations, that is learning and development, and also HR records. So you'll check on that. Then when it comes to a strategic audit framework, it is used when the organization is growing or changing direction. So like when you want to diversify or want to improve on your maybe the provisions that we have in the organization, or what you want to provide as services, or you want to improve your customer experience. So basically this is what is expected, or you want to scale up. So HR must support business strategy, and then leaders want to HR to create business value. So in strategy, when you hear of strategy, is matters to do with creating value. So that should come to your mind, and also aligning yourself to the mission, vision, core values of the organization. Then common scenarios is expansion into new markets. So also you want to develop a succession planning. There is also talent shortage or organizational restructuring. So either you want to reduce or you want to improve, or you want to increase or you want to reduce. So maybe because you want to reduce because you want to automate processes, or you want to reduce the number of staff because of operations, or you have brought in a machine that is going to do some work. So areas of focus is workforce planning, talent alignment, organization culture, business leadership development, and business performance support. So let us look at the last part. That is risk-based HR audit framework, best used when the organization face high risks, like, for example, litigation cases. Maybe you'll find that mostly litigation cases, maybe a lot of injuries that are happening in the organization, and also occurrence of several or recurring of employee disputes. Then there is what we term as business continuity is threatened. So if there is a business continuity threat, so where the business you see as if it's going to be cash short, therefore it is important that you check on you check HR in terms using the risk framework. Then the common area scenario, frequent court cases, as we said, litigation cases. Maybe there is a lot of fraud cases and misconduct, high absenteeism, because high absenteeism means that maybe staff are not engaged, or on the other side they are being mistreated. Then unsafe working conditions, where maybe there is sexual harassment, there is fight in the organization. Then also control, money are being lost in the organization. So there is a lot of financial risk, and also human to human risk. Then focus areas is legal exposures, operational risk, employee misconduct, workplace safety, and business continuity. So in terms of business continuity, this framework will help you in creating what we term as BCP, business continuity plannings. You develop them, whereby in terms, sometimes you may find that due to some pandemic or eventualities, how you're going to handle them, how you're going to handle issues that will arise, and how you're going to make sure that the organization is not affected. Okay, so let us look at quick guide on how we choose the framework to adopt. So in case of a legal compliance concern, what you're supposed to use is a compliance-based framework. So legal concern, there is a lot of legal concerns. Make sure that you use a compliance-based framework. Then weak HR operations, as we have said, use the functional HR audit framework. If you want to improve on business and also business growth and also strategy alignment, use the strategic HR audit framework. And then if there is a legal risk and also legal exposures, you use the risk-based HR audit framework. So something to note here is that there is no single framework for every organization. The best HR audit framework depends on, one, when you're asking for, so we have said that we have the 4 frameworks, but what is the objective? What does the organization want to look at? So is it a compliance thing? So you're going to use a compliance-based framework. Is this a strategic HR audit framework? So it's a strategic HR audit framework is going to use the 4 of them. It's going to use compliance, it's going to be functional, because now you're looking at the whole business. And also now the risk levels, the business strategy, HR maturity, process maturity. Then what is the compliance status? So many organizations combine multiple of the frameworks for more comprehensive HR audit. So when you're doing the audit, the first thing that you need to ask is about what is the objective of the audit that you want to carry out. But you may find that there's some time you may go to an organization, a new organization, and then you find that you want to do an audit, but from maybe your analysis and diagnosis is that you need to do a strategic HR audit, which is going to show about compliance, functional risk. You're going to handle that. You're going to do a strategic sort of audit. And I'll recommend in most of the organization that you have, it's better to do a strategic HR audit, despite that most of the organization, they want to do a compliance. Like there is someone who called me like 2 weeks ago. They told me that we have these issues. We have, number one, staff. We are losing staff, and the other side, the performance and productivity, and we think that it is due to compliance. I had to sit with the person down, tell them that is we need to do a strategic sort of audit. But they said it is very expensive. No, we want to do a compliance. So it is basically, it will determine the frameworks that you're going to use or the type of audit that you're going to use is as per the requirement of the client. But now, when you're doing your own for your own organization, you know what to handle. And mostly I recommend doing a strategic sort of HR audit, which you're going to adopt all the frameworks, all the 4 frameworks. Any question? Are we good? Or any comment?
Yes, Robert, if I may, I don't have a question. Mine is just to thank you because, in all honesty, I thought I knew a lot about HR, but right now, some of these things are very new to me and very interesting. And I'm also finding solutions to some of the challenges that I have been facing, or rather, we have been facing as a company. I am even eager to go back to work on Monday. I'm wondering, yeah. So yeah, thank you very much, bro.
Karibu sana. Anyone else? Read here. Any reaction? Purity, do you have any reaction?
Yes, appreciation also, just as Baraka said, the session is very insightful.
Yeah.
Looking forward to see what is the expectations as we continue with the learning. Maybe
Okay.
a question, I think I'll be
Yes.
taking you away back to
Yes.
a question is, I think for me, the greatest challenge that I am currently facing is linking the performance management system to a reward, especially being in service industry. I don't know if you're able to give us a guide on the same or anyone
What?
within the team.
Performance management. Sorry?
Yeah, linking the performance management, especially or the appraisals on the service industry to a reward system.
I think that is a different topic completely. It is
Yeah.
something that can be done. Yes, it's a different topic about performance management.
Yeah.
But you know now a performance management framework need to have you need to have a way that the organization is going to agree in terms
Yeah.
of how you to reward
Yeah.
a certain performance. So, like for
Yeah.
example, if one you're using maybe the KPI way, you have the maximum of 6 KPIs that
Mm.
are smart KPIs that you have in place. So when you are now setting the goals at the start of the year, the senior management is supposed to give you, okay, now if the organization we are going to be able to get this. So as a HR now, you're able now to know if someone is going to get 5, 4, 3, 1, what is the share? Are they going to get in terms of if the profits are going to be shared among the organization or the bonus? What is the bonus that we have, and how is it going to be shared across level? So you need to align each level of performance with a percentage of the total value of maybe or of the total value of the bonus that you have in place. Also, maybe you can adopt maybe a monthly review, which you're going to say that if the sale we have this set, the set goals is this, and you have achieved this, this is what is going to be gotten. Get the ratios in terms of the sales, and against now the what the organization, it will depend now with the management of the organization and what they are willing to give out, and also the percentage of the net profit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Now that we are almost at the mid here, we are doing the review for the mid. I think I'll apply the same way we are doing the target, because we usually do reviews twice a year when we are setting targets to review in December. I think also is a shift of thought to the management that it's not usually a process, like it's not something to do just for formality, but to tie it to something. I think that is
Okay.
the gap that we're experiencing at the moment.
Maybe,
And I'll work towards it.
So
Yeah.
maybe we can support you in maybe another forum. If you need more support, you can
Yeah.
get
Sure.
you can reach out. Then we
Yeah.
see how we help. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much. I'm sure I will.
Okay. Thank you, Jacinta. Jacinta. Jacinta is lost. So we have Wilfred.
Yes, what is it?
No, I'm saying you just share maybe your reaction towards what we've done on frameworks.
I think we are getting more and more insights on what is expected of us. I don't think there's anything that I've not understood. I think we're getting on well. So let's proceed.
Regina.
So that,
Yeah. Regina.
Yes. From my takeout from whatever you've learned today is that I keep on learning all the gaps. I'm identifying the gaps actually as we proceed. I'm identifying gaps in organizational setup. So as the way Baraka said, I'm just coming up with scenarios on how I can be able to come, like recommendations that I'll go in with the organization. And also I'm eager to see by the end of it, is not only just going with the recommendation and how it is going to be sustainable. So yes, I'm still on open-minded to learn more.
Okay. So I'm not going to go far more than that because I think I've given enough for today. So I'm just going to share an activity that we are going to do for this week, and then from there, we are going to go to come and handle about the tools next week, and then also part of session 3. And we are really proceeding on well. So I want you just to give you a chance to say what you've learned and how you comment on how the class was for today. So what are the takeaways for today? And the comment on how the class was. So I'll start with Lydia.
My main takeaway for today, as I thought that I knew so much on HR, but there's I've learned a lot because now I'm looking at our organization and I know the compliance gaps that we are currently facing. That is where we are not meeting maybe the policy requirements. I'm also looking at the operational efficiency, the processes that we tend to waste time, and how is increasing the cost or reducing the productivity. And for me, when it comes to operational efficiency, that is more on onboarding and talent and recruitment. And then again, I'm also looking at the opportunities. How am I going to improve in the places on ways to strengthen the HR strategic contribution through policy enhancement that is in relation to the business, and also workforce planning and employee experience.
Okay. So how was the class today?
Very informative, and I'm looking forward to more.
Okay, thank you. Regina? You can let us have two takeaways and then you make a comment because of time. We have only 12 minutes.
Okay, to begin with, I would really love to thank you. Today the class was more intense. The content was, I think, more than whatever we had learned last session. But you keeping it interactive, it has really helped us being able to understand, and I really thank you for the mode of training. It's really captivative. So keep it up. Nasema mtu anapewa maua yake. So you're really doing a really good job on training us and really kutusaidia. And my takeouts, okay, today is that mostly as HR, we have been always being the receiving end of most of the audits. I think going into the organization now, having to do the audits now is really an eye opener. Not only knowing that it is only compliance, there is more to the frameworks to say, and because I've been categorizing all audits as compliance, right now I'm learning that there's more to the audits rather than compliance, and mostly the strategic audit is really, I think most of issues are in strategic. So I'm really eager to learn more. Thank you for that.
Thank you, Regina. We go to Collins.
What I can say is much appreciation to my colleagues, their insights, to you as well, the instructor. And today we had an in-depth knowledge about the different types of audits. But my huge takeaway was on the strategic audit, where our main goal is to be able to strategize ourselves towards the business strategy, where we can align our workforce to be able to align towards the business strategy. So yeah, my huge takeaway was on the strategic audit, much of it. Yeah.
Thank you. We go to who? Really, have you spoken? Lydia?
Yes, I have.
Okay, Bwana Wafula.
Yes, thank you, sir. My main takeaway today is just the relationship, that link between HR audit and the business link. It has taught us that we need to be ready all the time and always to do the right things. In other words, be compliant to the laws of the country, laws of the industry, and circumstances. But more importantly, always look at challenges as an opportunity. Remember the other business development manager, for him, others were so worried about their files, their errors, but there was business sense that he derived from it. So As much as we have challenges, we should always take opportunity to circumvent them. So it's a huge takeaway. And more importantly, I've also learned that you cannot use only one audit framework in your organization. You actually have to use a good number, and depending on several factors, one alone cannot work if you have to really achieve organizational goals. Yeah, that was important, and thank you for really, you've hit it. Today you've hit it. We are learning things that we never knew we'd ever learn. Yeah, I've been hearing members saying they knew they had it all. You can never have it all, even if you're a professor or professors. So every day, even those professors keep reading, meaning you keep learning every time. So we've learned indeed. Thank you so much for the preparation. You prepared it for us, I can see.
Thank you very much. And I really appreciate also, I'm learning a lot from you. You know, I always say that there is no one has a monopoly of knowledge.
True.
And yes, so we learn from each other.
True.
Then we go to Purity. Yeah, thank you. Purity.
So personally, my key take home today from today's class is that we've learned about all the frameworks and the steps of audit, but the bottom line regarding the HR operations is doing it right. And also there is something that has really touched me on the HR practices today is regarding the presentations that we earned earlier from Charles, that apart from having recommendation, it's also good to have a roadmap on how to accomplish each and everything. Then it is easier to track how well you're improving to close one matter at a time. And finally, the mindset that is usually there regarding the audit. We take it as an opportunity for growth and to have recommendation, not only for the growth in the institution, but also for personal development. And you've given us so much knowledge, Robert, in this class, and I'm really excited to know more. I personally thought I knew it all when it comes to HR practices, but I feel that I have so much to incorporate from this class. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Then we go to Jacinta.
Thank you. Thank you, Robert. This is the area that I really enjoy most, the HR audits. So I'm really enjoying every bit of it, and I like the way you are delivering the message and the way you are making us to be attentive, because you just call someone randomly to say something. So if you are not listening, you'll answer your own things, or you won't be able to answer the question that you've asked. So my takeaway is that I've learned the 3 types of HR audit. I didn't know there are 3. So the compliance, functional, and strategic, I didn't know. And then always do what is right. So something like a file missing job description is not something that should even be highlighted as a gray area during an audit report. So always do what is right. And if you're delegating the work, delegate it well to avoid those gaps. Yeah, and auditors will be our friends, because one day we can also be auditors. Like I always tell the internal audit department that I'll be joining you soon. I'll be helping you in internal auditing of HR functions. Yeah. So thank you so much, and keep it up.
Thank you very much. And also we really appreciate your time. I really appreciate your time. The Collins.
Yes. Okay. To add on what I previously said as well, is that the way these sessions are also shifting our mindset towards from the panic, as the case study you put up there, to being prepared to such scenarios in the near future, and also how to be strategic in our processes to be able to align ourselves to the business strategy, so that we can be able to share the profits with the organization.
Thank you very much. We go to who? To Barak.
Yeah, thank you, Robert, and thank you, team. I must admit that this is one of the most engaging sessions I've ever been to, and I really appreciate everyone's input and the fact that we are also learning from cultures that are just next to us, like our brother from Uganda, you know. That's really educative and motivative, and as I said, it's really interesting to just be here and learn. And my key takeaways was a question that I used to ask myself. Before, I didn't know that these frameworks are divided into four. Most managers know that it's just one framework, you know, combined in a way that it's not so clear. But for today, you've really answered my question, because as we were going, as the lesson was going on, I was questioning myself as a manager and where I am and where we are as a company. And I'm really glad to understand that indeed we are at the strategic HR audit framework, because everything in there, including the organization, is growing and changing direction. And this is the startup that I said, and supporting the business strategy as a HR, and then the leadership wants the HR to create business value. So that's exactly where we are. And from this, I've really had some insightful moments whereby I now understand how I should view things in a different way rather than in a wholesome, let me say, confused way, you know. So it's brought some clarity, and I really appreciate. I also join my colleague in saying that the way you administered the lesson was really engaging and really nice. Tapatata mtu haezi lala, you know, you can't sleep, you can't doze off. It's really interesting and engaging. So, brother, thank you and kudos for that. Thank you.
Thank you, Barak. Thank you, Barak. And in case you have any issue that is eating you up, and maybe it's outside this, you can talk to us. We can support you. We can help. We can give a thought. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Robert. Thank you.
Anyone who feels that maybe they need a thought on something, just reach out. Reach out to us. We can support. We can help. And also maybe we can give some comments. So I think no one else has been left. Or do we have anyone who has been left who have not said anything?